Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing an Epic Toys review video. So last week I did say that I was crazy ecstatic about doing this review video with you guys. So this is a video I did want to do because there is a particular character in this line that I've been waiting for to see as a Hasbro or Hasbro style figure. Yeah, we do have him as LJN, and we've gotten figures for him in, Jakks Pacific Classic Superstars and a few other lines as well, Mattel, etc. But we haven't quite gotten him as a Hasbro or Hasbro style figure. And I'm not counting those guys out there, who make their own custom style figures. I'm talking about a legitimate style character. And now we do have our own Hasbro style figure. And who am I talking about but Bobby Heenan? Now, yes, Epic Toys has released two variants of this figure. One in red. There is a black variant as well. Currently, I do not have that variant, but you know me. Yes, I do have it on order, or I have ordered it previously. So, as of the filming of this video, it has not yet come in. So, maybe at some point in the future, I will do a one-off video and do a quick review on that figure as well. But maybe not. Maybe I'll just kind of do a quick show during a separate video, because it's pretty much the same figure. But here is Bobby the Brain Heenan on card. Now, the reason I love this set of figures from Epic Toys, the card backings themselves really stand out in the series. And ever since the different manufacturers out there, the different distributors have moved to the slide back, I love that. My God, you don't even need to go out and even buy two sets of figures anymore. I still do it because I love to keep these figures in a little protective case that you get from Ringside Collectibles and put them on display on my little shelves, what have you. And then I have the secondary figure that I kind of sit in front of them. But if you're not like me and you don't have crazy OCD and you just want to have one loose figure, you can always bring your figures back to mint on card if you want to. If you ever want to display them on your wall, or if you just don't have any need for them anymore, you want to sell them, guess what? It's literally that easy to bring them back to mint on card. Graphic wise, look at that. Absolute thing of beauty. And these things did take forever to come in, which sucks, but it was definitely worth the wait. Bobby Brain Heenan, I'm not going to sit there and try to read all this, not with my vision, but this is fantastic. Bobby Heenan on as Hasbro, who would have thunk it? So, the loose figure. So, kind of holding it in the hand. It is a nice, hardened, thick figure. Arm joints, nice and stiff, nice thick figure. Of course, that little positioning right there, not a fan of that. I mean, it's not a playable wrestling figure, not really. Nobody's using Bobby Heenan as a wrestler, right? And these figures, I don't know if it says it on the card. Sometimes with these figures, yeah. Right at the top of the card, ages 18 plus. Really anything from like Epic Toys / Chala Toys. Grapples and Gimmicks, Zombie Sailors, Rush Collectibles, really any of these toy companies that are coming out today making these Hasbro style figures, they're not made for kids. We all know this. They're made for adult collectors, right? They're for display purposes only. nobody's utilizing these for actual wrestling or actual play. They sit on a shelf and they're basically our artwork, right? So for display purposes, yeah, it looks spectacular. But still, I like to have the mindset that you are going to look at it and think about, hey, what if you are giving it to your son or daughter for play, right? So you want something that's going to actually be utilized. What if a kid is going to play with it? How can they make use out of it? And I look at that, and that just doesn't do it for me. But it looks great. I like the sequin jacket. Is that how it's pronounced? Sequin? Seguin? Really nice. Decent look. Waist is a little bit weak. So his body does do a 360. Not a fan of that. But the legs are extremely nice and tight. Nice hard plastic. Overall, like I said, nice hard piece. Good Bobby Heenan face. I like it. Overall, top notch. Ooh, this one, if Bobby Heenan was definitely my favorite, the one I was looking forward to the most. But based on accessory, Boris Zukov. I think this might have been the one that I was actually most interested in. Bobby Heenan, based on name recognition, he's probably the only one I actually know, actually grew up and actually watched. But this one is probably going to be my actual favorite figure from the line. Boris Zukov on card. And I think his accessory fell off. Yeah, I lost one of his accessories because he's actually wearing a hat in here, but I lost his hat here. That's fine. I will find it when I get up and move around. Unless I can find it here, laying around, and that's fine. I'll get it later. But he does have a removable hat accessory, and obviously the flag. That's pretty awesome. So it's nice that he actually has two pieces for the accessories. But you know what? Forget it. I want to be able to do a full-on review with you guys, so I can't find the other piece. So I'm going to take that one out and kind of show off what the actual hat looks like. It's a, I think it's plastic. I mean, maybe, what is the plastic called? It's called like ABS plastic or something like that. I know we used to use that type of plastic in the military, but I might have the initials wrong. And I know sometimes they use that type of plastic for like customization and whatnot. Especially like when they make custom accessories for like the Hasbro figures and whatnot. So I am going to put this back with its original figure now. Alright. Tattoos, none. Arms, nice and tight. See, this is what I like. I like when you move the arms. You know, the body's not coming apart or anything. That's solid. Now the waist, I don't like that. That's, to me, waist shouldn't spin at 360 degrees. I mean, waist should probably turn about that much. Maybe 45 degrees either direction. But I think any more than 90 degrees, and I think that's way too much. But waist does turn a full 360. Whatever. It's a nice, hard, solid piece all around. Head mold looks spectacular. And it's a great, perfect, playable fighting pose. This is a solid figure. And for those guys out there on YouTube or what have you that have these little wrestling federations and they do create wrestling match videos and whatnot, this is a perfect addition to a wrestling federation. I would love to see this figure in those little wrestling matches. I keep calling it little wrestling matches. Why do I keep doing that? Yeah, I have a problem with doing that. Little wrestling matches. Little figures, little wrestling matches. Maybe that's my perspective. Little wrestling matches. Now I sound like my grandma. Matt, you gonna play with your little figures? My grandma was so freaking weird. Oh, God. Who calls them little figures? What was I saying? Let's move on to the... I got that image from my grandma now. Oh, God. She was such a great person. This character, Atsushi Onita. I have no idea who this is. Like, his look, he looks very familiar, but I'm trying to place him and I can't. But his overall playability is very familiar. And he is right here. Right, so think Hasbro, right? And think like Series 1 Jake Roberts. So that's basically what this figure is. It's like a Series 1 Jake Roberts. Think of if this arm, you know, shot back, right, and had like the arm punching motion. I mean, the way that the legs are separated, it's basically a Hasbro Series 1 Jake figure. And so, almost identical figures, right? So... I generally don't mind if I can get this back up there. It's, you know, Jake Roberts is a really good playable figure from Hasbro, but it's also one of the worst overall figures, in my opinion, from the Hasbro line. Not because it's a bad figure, it just so happens it's a very plain figure. But the thing with this figure is that it's a lot thicker, a lot bulkier than the Jake Roberts, which is a very slim, very thin figure. So that huskiness, heftiness of the figure, the weight, so that helps a figure like this be a lot more enjoyable. So, and it's got a lot more color detail to it, so I like this figure a lot more if you were making that comparison. And I don't like this. I don't like the way that their bodies go all the way around. With Hasbro, I'm so used to looking at the figures and going for that action feature. And whenever I'm looking at like Zombie Sailors or Grapples and Gimmicks or any of these other lines, right? And I'm always going for that action feature. And when I don't see it, it's like, it's so disappointing when it doesn't have it. Onita. This is going to be a very quick review video because... I mean, there's not really a whole lot to go over, but overall, so far, I'm very pleased with what we're getting from Epic Toys. The last review video we did from Epic Toys was with the Diamond Dallas Page, and he had the removable arms with the magnets. I hated that. The overall Diamond Dallas Page figure was a really good figure, but you put magnets on the arms and basically make the arms removable, and you take an overall quality figure and you turned it into trash by doing that. So you basically went from a really bad Epic Toys review video to now to this video, which so far has been absolutely amazing. So Epic Toys, you really hit the mark on these figures. Last figure is going to be Eddie Guerrero. Unfortunately, I did not grow up watching Eddie Guerrero. And in fact, I don't know. I don't ever remember watching Eddie Guerrero ever in my life. But he had to have been wrestling for a very long time. Like, I don't think he was just somebody who just started wrestling in like the early 2000s or very late 90s. I mean, he had to have been wrestling probably at a time when I was still actively watching wrestling in the mid to late 90s. I mean, I was still watching wrestling around 97, possibly 98. So I would imagine he was active at that point. But I don't remember him. I mean, he was probably WCW at that point, and that would explain why. I was not a WCW follower, so. But he was definitely a huge fan favorite in both WWE and WCW, and he died young, and absolutely heartbreaking. He's a legend. I mean, he's noted as being one of the greatest in-ring performers ever, so. It's a shame I never really got the opportunity to watch him. But his figure, just like the Boris Zukov, probably two of the best playable wrestling figures so far. Great aesthetic look. Face-wise is incredible. So I really like the head sculpt. Play pose. Arms straight out. Exactly how I like with the playable wrestling action figure. So absolutely love that. Pants. Graphics, love the color scheme. Of course, if you know, growing up in Chicago and you're trying to sport these colors, you know, Latin Kings, you're about to get your butt shot. Especially if you're walking around Greenbrier Park sporting these colors. Somebody about to die. I'm just telling you that much. But beautiful colors and great graphics. Great graphics on the pants. You know, great stance. I mean, this is an absolutely perfect figure. Wow. Epic Toys, they really nailed this release. They did a phenomenal job. And like I said, man, there is a black shirt variant of Bobby Heenan. That figure will probably come in sometime soon. I'm not worried about doing a review on that. I don't think I have to. It's unnecessary. This video is only about, it's 18 minutes. I'm not going to do the Wrestle Something Wrestlers from the figure collection website or from the figure collection store where these figures came in from. I also got the Wrestle Something Wrestlers from them as well, but I'm going to save that for a later release or a later review. So make that its own special video, what have you. Yeah, I'll probably do that tomorrow, possibly. Because it's only 2 figures, I might not do that video. So we'll see if I'll do that, or I might do a different review. We'll see what happens. Alright guys, thank you for watching, and talk to you in the comments, and see you in the next video. Thanks everybody.